that you were in, so it's a joy to see you this morning. And then compared to, and we'll come on to that sort of comparison with the celebrity one in just a sec, but what is it like doing that show? Because you I guess, film it way in advance and then suddenly it's released to the world, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I love the process of filming it. It's like sort of playing a giant game with your friends, but just on a crazy scale. You know, you're up in this castle, you've got 25 people you've never met, Claudia's up there, the missions are huge. So it's just a huge amount of fun and you can throw yourself completely into it. It's totally immersive. So I loved it. You're right, there's that weird period when you filmed it and then you can't say anything to anybody for months and you've no idea how it'll be received. So there's that kind of weird period. And then when it does go out, it sort of hits you full in the face. So it's a weird sort of roller coaster.
There's rumoured to be all these new twists this year
yes.
and new quirks to the game, but they already put you under quite a lot of mental pressure, don't they? I mean, just how hard was it in there?
They do, and it is hard. People ask me, they say, you know, is it as stressful watching it as it was in the thing? Like, yes, inside, it's unbelievably stressful. So, yeah, but that's what makes it such a good show. The producers and the creators are so good at throwing twists and turns into it. You never know what's going to happen. And everyone says, do you go in with a game plan? You can. It probably lasts about 2 or 3 hours before everything changes and you have to adapt. So, yeah, it's quite intense.
And that's what was fascinating then about the celeb version as well, because obviously we knew some of these people already in the way that with the regular series you don't. And so in the regular series you can maybe create a whole new personality, you can have a whole different backstory. It's different for the celebrity
Pretend to be a nail technician when you're really like
so
hardcore girl in the army.
Exactly, you're Welsh. Yeah, exactly that. And the celebrities can't do that. They do know each other. We already know some of them, at least sort of vicariously from the screen. And, you know, it's a different kind of vibe. And I think that's what's so great, because we've had the show in January, we had another one recently, The Celebrity, we've got this one coming up. But they're all a little bit different, actually. It's not just more of the same. So the cast are kind of different, the challenges and the sort of mental challenges are different. So it keeps being fresh every year. What
would you say to anyone going in as a player, if you could? I mean, it's all been filmed already, but if you were to say what you learned from it, what would you advise?
Yeah.
I'm going to apply.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, have you secretly got a spot? I think the most important thing is to be adaptable, because you don't know what's going to come up. And now we've all seen previous seasons. You know, many of us will have come in with a few pages of notes. This is how I want to play it. This is what I want to say at the round table. You know, I can see the gap. And then the gap just closes right in front of you and some sort of chasm opens elsewhere and then you have to adapt to that. So I think adaptability is the thing. Also, best not to say, you know, I used to be a diplomat and therefore I'll be great at this, because you know there'll be a screen of you doing it dreadfully.
And that feeling of defending yourself when you're under suspicion, how do you explain that?
Do you know what? It feels incredibly sort of intense and quite personal, even though it's absolutely not.
It's
just a game. But because you live and breathe it and you do sort of nothing else but live, talk about the game 24 hours a day, it requires this incredibly heavy weight. And at the round table, when people go for you, you really feel it. And, you know, I always had a sort of 3-point plan. You're like, you absorb, you go, yeah, look, are you sort of Jonathan Ross kind of doing it? Yeah, I get it. And I understand why you feel that way. You're not wrong to think that. But what I'm looking for is somebody who's anything that's not you, quiet or loud or whatever you're not. And then thirdly, you say, and therefore, how about that person over there? Should we have a look at them instead?
Every time you open your mouth, you could either save yourself or drop yourself in it. We had a little BBC training course a while back that I was on, and in some downtime, a bunch of BBC journalists all played the card game.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
I know.
I felt so angry when I was getting under suspicion.
Friends and colleagues, you can sort of shatter relationships in half an hour.
What's the hardest bit, though? Because it strikes me there's a lot of sort of what I want to call downtime, you know, time that you're in the castle.
Yeah.
And that's when you might let your guard down a little bit and let something slip that sticks. So is that the harder bit to get right, or the round table where you're under that spotlight?
I think it depends a bit. If you're a traitor, I think you've got that problem 24 hours a day where you could slip because you've got secrets to hide. The thing about being a faithful is that you can play it absolutely dead straight. You don't have to lie about absolutely anything if you choose not to. So you're under a lot less pressure day to day. However, at the round table, you don't know who the traitors are and you don't have the power to murder afterwards, so you're under a lot more pressure. You're just a sort of lamb waiting to be gone for, whereas the traitors know who the people are. So different.
Likeable? Like at the round table, is it helpful to be likeable so that you're not a target for the traitors?
I think good relationships are incredibly important. They are a buffer. People might suspect you, but if they like you, they'll probably try and find a way to keep you in.
Celebrity final, the good relationship. Isn't it?
It's at the margins, right? And also, it's difficult to be likeable to everybody. Most of us are who we are. There's only so far you can flex, and so you naturally get on well more with some people than others. But it's just in the game that happens. The nice thing is we're all incredibly close as a group afterwards, and it really does create this sort of family feel, and that's a huge takeaway for me.
What do you think Alan Carr did so well on it when he was?
I think he played to his strengths. People expected him to be a little bit bumbly, very funny, make mistakes, and he leaned in so heavily to it. He looked authentic, and if you look authentic, people don't suspect you, even if you do sort of semi-admit you forgot about S.H.I.E.L.D., laugh when you're asked to confirm you're not a traitor, all these things. Yeah.
Claudia's already said it's going to be, quote, really, really brutal, which is kind of hard to see how it can be any more brutal than it is already. Yes. And there's this speculation, or we've seen these images in the trailer of the red cloak.
Yep.
We don't know anything about it, do we? What's your best guess? I mean,
I come back to that thing where you just never know. The creators are so good at putting you off balance. And I think we'll see that again this year. It's so hard to predict. In my series, we had the power of the seer. That was new. I wonder if this is a new sort of traitor power. But I don't know. And I think it, as I say, hard to predict. That's what makes it fun. In some ways, it's like sort of opening a Christmas present early, isn't it? No one actually wants that, even if they think they do.
You're going to be watching?
Of course, yeah. I love this stuff. I love this stuff.
I genuinely love it, and the difference between the celebrity one and the regular one is so intense as well. And I wonder whether there's a whole swathe of people who only got involved in Traitors for the celebrity one who will now discover the regular one and all that.
Yeah, I hope so. And because it's just incredibly entertaining. You would expect me to say that I did it, but I do think it's just great TV. But it's also sort of intergenerational. So many people come up and say, actually, it was really nice. I watched it with my teenage son, teenage daughter, or everyone as a family. It's one of the few things we can get together for. It's really nice.
So nice to see you. Thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank
you very much. Nice to see you.
Always a faithful.
The first episode of the new season of The Traitors, 8 o'clock New Year's Day.